February 13th today. I hope you're not superstitious like the world who says, oh, today we're Friday the 13th. Gratitude that transforms. And everything give thanks. For this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Are we able to say that? To give thanks in all things, for it is God's will in Christ Jesus for you. That broken relationship, that cancer in your body, that child who walked out on you, whatever. Can you give thanks? Giving thanks is not an automatic reaction. It is a spiritual choice, of course, because our nature is not to give thanks, is not to be grateful. Our nature is ungrateful. Our nature is selfish. I, me, myself, and I. What can I get from this? Our nature is to complain, to gossip, to point the finger, to blame others for our misfortune. So it's a spiritual choice to be grateful. I choose to be grateful in all circumstances because I want to please my Father, not myself. I'm not pleased. I can be hurt, frustrated, angry, whatever, but I'm still going to be grateful because I realize that it is my Father's will for me to be in this situation. Gratitude does not arise from perfect circumstances, but from recognizing the one who never changes. And that's why God allows these situations to shake us, to make us go to Him, to rely only upon Him, to rejoice in Him, not in our circumstances, not in our relationships with others. When the soul gives thanks in all things, it is freed from complaint, fear, and resentment. You're confronted in a situation that is totally unjust in your eyes. You think you've been unfairly treated in your eyes. Well, if instead of complaining, being resentful and fearful, you give thanks, you're grateful this is happening because you know it is God's will for you at this moment to make you more Christ-like, your life will change. You'll be free. You'll be free from expectations. You'll be free from all these things that hinder you. And in doing so, It aligns itself with the will of God. Gratitude is not about denying reality. We don't deny what's going on. We choose to take it with gratefulness, with humility, with grace, to say, Father, I know you've allowed this to happen in my life. And I know you will give me grace to overcome it. Please fill my heart with mercy, with love towards these people who have mistreated me. Help me to forgive them, to bless them, because they don't know you. They're still in darkness and will behave in that way. I need to be a light in their lives. I must honor you, Father, by being the light. But if I stoop to their level, if I seek to revenge, if I seek justice, if I seek to, justify myself, accuse them, then I'm also in darkness. Gratitude is not about denying reality, but about trusting in a greater purpose. What is that greater purpose? To become more conformed to the image of Jesus. That is our greatest purpose. Where there is gratitude, there's peace. That's why Jesus was always at peace. Always. Because he knew he was in God's will all the time. And where there is peace, the Spirit can lead with clarity. So if you're not led clearly by the Spirit, ask yourself, examine your heart. Where have you been ungrateful? Where have you complained, talked against somebody? If you want to be led by the Spirit and always be at peace, you will have to learn to master gratitude in your life. To give thanks is to say, I trust you, Lord, even when I don't understand. Of course, we don't have to understand. God does not call us to understand. He calls us to obey, to follow him. Jesus said, follow me. He didn't say, understand me. No. And he said, if you love me, you will obey. So if you love him, you will be grateful for everything that happens in your life. For what you have, for what you don't have, for what you want, don't want, for everything you must be grateful. God shines his sun upon the righteous and the unrighteous, upon everybody. He makes it rain on the unjust and just. A grateful Christian cannot be defeated. If you master this, you cannot be defeated. Because no matter what comes your way, your weapon is gratitude. I'm reminded of one of my heroes, Richard. I always forget his last name, Winbrand. Who was imprisoned by the Russian communists for 14 years. Barely had water and bread to eat, chained at his ankles, placed in like a locker with nails sticking in like that, where he had to stand up for hours and hours and hours. Couldn't move because he would be injured by the nails. Horrific circumstances. Got sick, almost died. And he said in an interview, never once did he doubt the presence of Jesus. Never once was he ungrateful for what was happening to him and others who died before his eyes. So what gives us the right to complain? Because our internet connection is not working well. For stupid reasons, we complain. Well, that nature must die completely. And that man was a hero in my eyes. One of the most beautiful event that happened while he was still in prison and he was kneeling, praying. The guard, the vicious guard who beat them, tortured them, insulted them with such cruelty, saw him one day. He opened the little window in the door and saw Richard praying on his knees. He opened the door with anger and said to him, "What are you still praying for? You're going to die in here. Where's your God? Why doesn't he save you from here? What are you praying for?" And with a big smile and love in his eyes, Richard said, "I'm praying for you." Oh, that killed the guard. Killed him in his pride, killed him in his heart. To realize after all the harm, the horrific thing I did to this guy, he's praying for me? He's praying for me? We don't know what happened to him. We hope and that he had a change of heart. We don't know. What matters is that Richard didn't have any anger or bitterness towards his torturer. Just like Jesus, he forgave him. He forgave him. Make it your spiritual choice, my friends, to be grateful in all things and watch your life being transformed for the better. A grateful Christian cannot be defeated. God bless you.